Going back to the wind within the storm, I'll take you to the northernmost warning right now. There are some of the stronger winds, some of the rotations that we're seeing within these storms going down south through the line. We're seeing it southwest of the Godfrey area and then further toward the south into St. Charles and St. Louis County. I would say that these winds are looking particularly strong, moving through Florissant right now, about to push into Ferguson. So also get away from windows, even for those areas that are not within this tornado warned area. We're going to go ahead and reset my radar views and send it back out to meteorologist Haley Fitzpatrick in the Storm Runner.
Hey, Jamie. Yeah, we are still traveling eastbound on I-70, now just in St. Charles County, where we are on kind of the southwestern edges of this tornado warning. We're within like this direction right here. You can see me circling on my screen. That's where we're headed, still dealing with some very, very, very gusty winds. Upwards of about 60 miles per hour. That could definitely be within this picture. I'm going to go ahead and turn on our Doppler winds and see what the storm looks like. So when I pulled this up, if we can pull up max 11, if you have that up back there in the control room, we are watching these winds continue to kind of push in. The good news with this tornado warning in St. Charles, I'm going to pull it up on my phone as well too. It looks like it's really broadened out. I'm not seeing any sort of confined area where we're seeing those inbound and outbound winds, the green and the reds kind of circle together. That's where we would have that rotation inside the storm. It looks like it's now becoming more of like a, not necessarily a Boeing segment, but we are seeing this kind of line of winds continue to push through our region. I'll kind of show you and pick out what I'm talking about here. I don't know if I can find my little pointer. But once again, this is kind of the area that I'm talking about. Some very gusty winds about to move into Spanish Lake. Just moved into Florissant. Like I said, we're kind of on the southeastern fringe of where that tornado warning is in St. Charles. So this does include, this is kind of the storm that I'm staying on top of. This tornado warning expires in the next about 12 minutes. It'll go until about 8 o'clock. Again, this is all radar indicated. So a severe thunderstorm warning, definitely capable of producing a tornado. That's why a warning was issued in the first place for this area. But we're dealing with some pretty moderate rainfall. It's also a very electric storm too. It's been relatively bright in terms of flashes of lightning. Let's go ahead and see if I can pull up my other radar if we can. There it is. I turned the lightning product off, but I'll go ahead and turn it back on. You can see the amount of electricity just up north of St. Charles, just now moving into Godfrey, into Mississippi. Brighton about to get in on this action in terms of the rain. Jerseyville still under that tornado warning as well too. We have those three areas of rotation that we're really watching. But the good news, Jamie, from what I'm seeing on my radar, I'm using it also on my phone too, is that it looks like some of these little notches have kind of broadened out.
Haley, I would agree with you totally on that, especially the southern edge of that. What they have, though, done is they've issued another tornado warning for that northernmost rotation right there that was initially, well, it was near Jerseyville at the time where they issued the warning. So this is, I'm going to put this into motion here real quickly. These storms are moving very fast. This is the FAA radar still for Lambert International Airport there, not at Lambert, but for Lambert, and zooming in on this newest warning. So there were initially 3 areas of circulation, one near Grafton, one near Orchard Farms, and then another one near Jerseyville. Jerseyville still showing the most potential for seeing that rotation at this point in time, whereas Haley was also mentioning we were seeing this more broaden out a little bit, more of a straight line wind type of situation farther farther toward the south. So far, no word on what they're going to do with that warning, but it appears as though they are not extending this warning. That's kind of in the middle, but there is a report of in Godfrey, Illinois, there was a third-party traffic-relayed possible wall cloud in Godfrey, Illinois currently, so that was relayed via amateur radio. So we are still watching the situation closely, but for now, this part of the storm moving through Godfrey right now, where we could maybe have a wall cloud situation here, is about to outrun its warning. But farther to the north, we have that newest warning that has been issued for parts of mainly Macoupin County there as the storm races east at about 15 miles per hour. So we're still tracking the circulation right here along this leading edge that is moving eastward into the Shipment area right now. Looks like it will go just north of Staunton, and then it will approach the I-55 corridor. It is through Jerseyville, so Jerseyville, you can stand down at this point in time, but if you're within this newest red box, you now need to be taking cover and observing your tornado safety precautions. And now we're going to send it over to Callista for a look at traffic with the situation that is moving through and really increasing right through the bulk of the morning rush.
Right, Jamie. Well, you guys have been getting your warnings all morning from Haley, from Jamie. Here's my message to start to avoid the roadways, especially if you're taking 70 through St. Charles right now. This is a view from my camera at Wentzville Parkway. So you can see it looks like the rain in this part of the region is starting to lighten up, but this is a tractor trailer that has veered off into the side of the highway. And let me give you a good look at how bad it's backing you up. So this is Highway A. You can see travel building again in that eastbound direction, but take a look at the rain and the wind kind of affecting your visual of this camera. So this is where I'm seeing the bulk of our problems in terms of how the weather is affecting the roadways. Just a quick view of 270 over chain of rocks where Haley said we're starting to see that storm pick up. Things are still moving across the bridge, but that skyline is not looking good. I'm going to throw it back to you.
Yeah, and we are still tracking this potentially very dangerous situation. Now, we have this big line of storms that thankfully is being captured well by our terminal radar there. So that's the radar. You can see the sweeping beam there in the center. This line of storms stretches all the way from the northern portion of our viewing area through the St. Louis Metro, about to move into St. Louis City right now, and then farther south down into Jefferson County, the Imperial area, also about to approach the I-55 corridor. So we have warnings of either severe thunderstorm warning or tornado warnings along this entire line. One of the more recent warnings was this one that included now for the rest of St. Louis County down into Jefferson, St. Clair, parts of Monroe counties. For this would be for straight line winds to probably about 60 miles per hour as these storms race east, and they are approaching the river. So the storms aren't yet to the Illinois side here, at least this far south. But what we're seeing here in the metro, we heard the rain pick up here at the Fox 2 studio. It was some brief heavy downpours. It's already lightened back up, but we have heavy rain, gusty winds in Florissant. Florissant, your tornado threat is winding down. I wouldn't say it's zero yet, but the front edge of that storm has moved through. So you're starting to see things wind down. I'd give it about another 10 minutes or so before you are in the all clear. But farther to the south, Northwoods, down through the Kirkwood area, approaching, moving along the I-44 corridor within the 270 loop there. We have very heavy rain. Turning on the lightning tracker, we have plenty of cloud to ground lightning and then some strong winds to potentially 60 miles an hour. That stretches all the way down through Arnold, Imperial, and then down into Peevely. But what we're most concerned about at this hour are still two areas of rotation. The most recent tornado warning was issued for parts of Macoupin County, parts of Jersey County also, although the leading edge of that storm has now exited Jersey County, so you're good in Jersey County for now. But what we have in Macoupin County to about the I-55 corridor in Macoupin County, not quite to Litchfield yet, we are still tracking some circulation in the Shipment area, and this is where we still have that tornado warning. We have another report of a wall cloud in Godfrey, Illinois, and a reporter at Strubling rain wrapped. So yeah, so a lot of these storms or a lot of these circulations will be rain wrapped. Again, they're not supercellular type storms. They're within a large shield of rain, lots of cloud to ground lightning. So even eyes on the ground are not getting a very good look at this storm. Let's go ahead and take you to the winds within this storm. And this is the velocity data from the FAA radar. And, you know, it's not very clear, but we're still seeing enough indication of circulation. You have a little bit of red-green circulation right there, red and green. Red is away from the radar, green is wind moving toward the radar. So you're still seeing some of that here within this red polygon. So if you're within this red polygon, you need to be observing your tornado safety precautions. I can go ahead and put another track. Sorry, I don't mean to be jumping around our radar views. I can go ahead and put another track on this storm. I need to zoom out a little bit, so when I go to 55 miles per hour, we have room for that. So moving into Shipman right now, you need to be observing your tornado safety precautions. 55 miles per hour. There are long lists of towns, Mount Olive, Litchfield, Hillsborough, all in the path of this storm. If it were to maintain its strength, Litchfield, you're not yet in that warning, but you need to start thinking about what you would do. So we have had a few reports of wall clouds. Godfrey, Illinois, we had a report of a wall cloud. However, the National Weather Service has you in a severe thunderstorm watch at this point in time, I believe. We still have 2 tornado warnings on the map here. This one was the most recent one for Macoupin County, and this is still potentially a very dangerous situation, but then we have another warning to the south, and this one still technically has a tornado warning in effect there. I am going to try to turn on our auto query so we can just get the timing. It's very hard to keep up on when all of these expire here because they're being issued so quickly. So this tornado warning is until 8 a.m., so just another 4 minutes or so. I do not have word from the Weather Service on what they're going to do, but I suspect since they've already have a severe thunderstorm warning in place, they will probably let that ride and let this expire in a few minutes. That is what I suspect will happen. Although further toward the north, we have that tornado warning in place until 8:30. So this is the one that was most recently issued. The winds within the storm still seeing some indication of circulation, still enough for that tornado warning to be extended. But again, it is radar indicated. It's not in the most populated of areas, but now that it's daylight, we do have more eyes on the storms versus if this had happened an hour ago when it was still dark. But any circulation would most likely be completely rain wrapped at this point in time because you have torrential rainfall, lots of cloud to ground lightning. So these types of situations where we have a line of storms with little spin ups along the leading edge, that can be very difficult to see. So now the Weather Service says they are watching an area of rotation near Arnold. Not very strong at this point, but they are watching it. So that would be a little bit farther to the south. That is very far to the south. I was thinking Alton there for a second. Let's go to Arnold. So here's Arnold. Arnold, you were in a severe thunderstorm watch still until 8:30, and we are watching for this potential circulation. I want to go ahead and try to turn on the wind. I don't want to just go to my other graphic because that will jump the radar. I don't want to do that for you guys. So let's try to turn on the wind within this storm near the Arnold area. So right in basically here from Arnold, right in here is where we're seeing that circulation there. Now it's actually moved a little bit farther to the east. So Arnold, we're watching weak circulation. You are not in a tornado warning right now, but we are still watching this potentially dangerous situation here. Arnold is definitely a very populated area. It's daylight, so hopefully we can get some reports if that is what is going on, if there is any circulation. But Arnold, nonetheless, you are within that severe thunderstorm warning. You should be staying away from windows, staying inside as the storm rolls through your area. The strongest part of this storm looks to be actually exiting Arnold. These storms are moving at about 55 miles per hour, so they are flying. Wind gusts to about 60 miles per hour. Hail, not really so much of a concern right now. We have not gotten more than pea-size hail reports at this point in time. Actually, we just got a quarter-size hail, but that was not in our viewing area. That was near our viewing area, but not in our viewing area. But I have not gotten any reports of hail within our viewing area. We just have what we're watching, some rotation on the radar, as well as strong straight-line wind gusts. So now we are going to be the National Weather Service is issuing another tornado warning for the Carlinville area, and that is with circulation that is to their southwest. So let's go ahead and get you up to date on this latest tornado warning. That is once again farther to the north. This is just south of that last warning. So this was the one that we were suspecting maybe they weren't going to extend, and now they have. So this is well through the Jerseyville area, but Jerseyville, you were hearing your name a lot there for a while. So that was the initial warning, and then this is the brand new one there till 8:45, so actually a little bit farther to the north of that initial rotation. So this is for the Carlinville area. Again, front edge, leading edge of a line of storms, a strong line of storms, torrential rain. These would be rain-wrapped tornadoes. You can see a little bit of a notch in there. So this is for east central Macoupin County in southwestern Illinois, northwestern Montgomery County and south central Illinois. This is a severe thunderstorm capable, radar indicated, capable of producing a tornado located near Carlinville, moving east at 45 miles per hour. So we've lowered the velocity, the speed of the storm a little bit. But again, you need to be observing your tornado safety precautions. Flying debris will be dangerous to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes could be damaged or completely destroyed. We will have damage to roofs, to windows, vehicles, as well as tree damage. Power pole damage would be likely, especially in the case of a spin up. So we are going to take a live picture in Sauget there as well. You can see how dark the sky is looking. It's looking black as these storms roll through the metro. Very scary looking sky there. We have had a few reports of wall clouds farther south of these tornado warnings in the Godfrey area, but we have 2 tornado warnings still in place along the front edge. Right along this edge of storms is where we are tracking some rotations. So here near Carlinville, and then farther to the south, this is starting to look a little bit more like a Boeing segment, except there's still a little bit of a notch in there. Let's go ahead and look at the wind within the storm. I have to readjust the radar there because these storms are moving quickly. And we can see strong, the brighter the shade of red, the more white it looks, the stronger those winds are, whether they're straight line, whether they're rotating. So these are strong winds. Red is rain going away from the radar. Green would be wind going toward the radar there. So still a very dangerous situation that we are watching. And this is the leading edge of that storm that we have those 2 tornado warnings on. Montgomery County, Macoupin County, much of Macoupin County now under that warning as it is approaching the I-55 corridor. We're going to take a quick break. I'm going to reset my radar views and we're going to send it back to Calista.
Okay, drivers, let's get an update on where our worsening weather is the worst right now. So I told you about this incident on 70 in our eastward moving direction right at Wentzville Parkway. So this is a tractor trailer that has crashed into the side of the median. Again, it appears that as these conditions worsen, we're starting to see them pick up around the St. Charles County area. Now, I'm checking my map right now. It looks like we've also got a stalled vehicle 70 west before you hit 370 and an accident on 364 heading eastward near Kisker. Now, my concern is going to be for drivers that are moving over Daniel Boone. Here's a view of my camera on 64 right before you head over the Missouri River. So as you can see, as that rain continues to pick up, we've also got road work going on over the bridge later this morning. So here's my caution to you now. Take some extra time, add some minutes to the commute if you are taking Daniel Boone. Now, a check over in our Western County region, Northwestern County region. As Haley had mentioned, we're also starting to see stormy conditions pick up in this area as well. As for the accidents, though, your only problem spot is going to be on 270 in our eastbound direction due to signal issues. Jamie?
Yeah, well, hey, Calista, thank you. We have the reports of a limb down near Big Bend, east of Daugherty Ferry, blocking the road. So that was a report just sent in. That is not from the tornado warned area. But I want to go ahead and show you the front edge of this line of storms. We've reset our radar views. I want to put a fresh track on it. These storms, I'm just going to do the whole line because everyone in these red boxes included in that tornado warning, and it's just too hard to pick up on the exact location and the direction that that is moving. So this is the track there. Your towns are on the left there, shows approximate arrival time. So still Litchfield, you are now technically in that warning we were talking about earlier. You needed to get that plan in place because if it was extended, you'd be in a warning, and now you are in a warning. You have Hillsborough, 826, East Fork, 833. So all of those areas, if you're within these red boxes, you need to be observing your tornado safety precautions. We have some radar indicated circulation. It was originally south of Carlinville. Still looking a little suspicious with these notches, and then you have kind of the notches toward the west, and then this little bit of a bowing segment, and then another notch down to the south. So south of Carlinville, that's where it's still looking like we're seeing some of that circulation as well. Looking at the wind within the storm, nothing jumping out at me as being obvious when it comes to a couplet, which would be red and green right next to each other, but we still have strong winds within the storm. The red is wind going away from the radar. I do want to go ahead and zoom out because, there was a brand new warning. No. Never mind, that was the same warning. When I zoomed out, it looked a little bit different. So we still have two warnings. We have one for Montgomery and Macoupin County, another one basically just in southern and southeastern Macoupin County there. They're just overlapping. I thought that was a third warning at first. Zooming out though, we have a severe thunderstorm warning that stretches from Montgomery, Macoupin counties, all the way through Madison, St. Clair, and down into Monroe County. So the strongest part of this storm is still impacting downtown St. Louis. And we have pictures downtown, I believe, there. So heavy rain, a lot of cloud to ground lightning. We had some strong winds going through the downtown metropolitan area. The strongest part of this storm is now exiting to the east, but it's now impacting the Metro East. So we're looking at Madison and St. Clair counties just east of downtown St. Louis, seeing some strong wind gusts with this storm. 3 miles north of Carlinville at Route 4, we have pea-size hail. So we still have hail, but all the reports I've seen of hail for the most part in our viewing area, and we haven't had many, have been a pea-size hail. Wind gusts, though, that could be a different situation. We did have that limb down west of Big Bend, east of Daugherty Ferry, blocking the road. So that, I would say, definitely 60-mile-per-hour winds with that storm, with this front edge, leading edge of these storms. Good news is that we were tracking some circulation in Arnold. The good news is that we have seen a few more radar scans since that initial week rotation was being picked up, and there have been no tornado warnings issued. I do not see anything that jumps out at me as being as rotating here on radar a little bit farther to the south at this point in time. But Belleville, you'll be seeing strong winds pick up in your area soon here. Scott Air Force Base, Freeburg, Waterloo, starting to see rain moving into that area, probably your winds picking up also. So all of these areas, still you need to be getting away from windows, staying inside. If you have to get to work, you might want to hold off, let this front edge of storms roll through. There is a live look from Sauget where rain is definitely coming down. Skies are dark, clouds are low, looking ominous out there. But for now, we just have the severe thunderstorm warning in the Sauget area. No tornado warnings, no signs of circulation there. Just farther to the north is where we're still tracking those tornado warnings in the circulation there that we're seeing on radar. Radar indicated circulation. So from Waterloo through Millstadt, O'Fallon, over in Illinois, now almost the heaviest rain almost out of St. Louis. But we have strong wind gusts. If you guys could say that again to me in my ear. We have strong wind gusts. I didn't hear Strong wind gusts on the leading edge of the storm, 60 mile per hour there. And then farther to the north, we have the circulation, radar indicated circulation. So observe your tornado safety precautions if you are in Carlinville, Raymond, Litchfield, Macoupin County, much of eastern Macoupin County and northwestern Montgomery County. You need to be observing your tornado safety precautions. This warning to the farthest to the north is in effect until 8:45. This one a little bit farther to the south, now approaching the I-55 corridor there in Macoupin County, north of Staunton. That is in effect until 8:30 this morning. So if you know anyone driving north along I-55 in Macoupin or Montgomery counties, you might want to let them know that it is a potentially very dangerous situation and they're going to have very strong storms roll through their area. We're going to send it back out to meteorologist Haley Fitzpatrick in the Woods Basement System Storm Runner. Haley, what are you seeing and where are you?
Hey, Jamie. Yep, still driving eastbound on I-70 as we speak. On 270, I should say. Eastbound on 270, just to the north of the St. Louis Metro towards like the Spanish Lake area, just south of Old Jamestown. And the rain still continues to come down. We get in sort of these like pockets where it strengthens and then it kind of falls back a little bit. But once again, we're still on kind of that western edge. These storms are moving really, really fast. And so we're trying our best, at least my photographer is, I'm in the passenger seat. We're trying our best to keep up with them. But we continue to kind of encroach on the western side of these storms. The good news is that for us here in the St. Louis Metro, it looks like most of the severe threat is now just to the east of us. It looks like they did went ahead and expired that severe thunderstorm warning for us in the St. Louis metro areas back off to the west, but we are still dealing with severe thunderstorms rolling through parts of Madison into Monroe and to St. Clair. This does include East St. Louis as well too, and so we are watching this with a close eye. The big concern that we're monitoring is the wind gusts upwards of 60 miles per hour. That seems to be the primary concern. Let me go ahead and see if I can put my radar back on to reflectivity so you can see how strong this rain is. Once again, like Jamie's been kind of reiterating all morning, most of the St. Louis Warren County radar is down with our National Weather Service, so we've been having to stretch and kind of use different radar domes from across the area. So a little bit of a difficult situation, but it works for us, as we can say. But that severe thunderstorm warning continues for Madison, for Monroe, for St. Clair. They do have a tornado possible tag, meaning they are watching little spurts of energy and these little signs of rotation, but it's not enough to put a tornado warning on it. The greatest concern in the area that we continue to kind of monitor and keep our eyes a little bit closer on is going to be Macoupin in Montgomery County out in Illinois. It seems to have, in terms of rotation within these storms, kind of the best area and the best strength. I did take the lightning off, but you can tell that this is what the lightning product looks like on. So it's a very electric storm. Carlinville to Zanesville to Litchfield, you guys are in on that action for getting some very, very heavy rain. Likely some penny, maybe smaller than that, maybe dime-sized hail too. But we are continuing to monitor that tornado warning for those counties. It now looks like it's, let me just rotate my radar there. Here we go. Macoupin and Montgomery until 8:45 a.m. That tornado warning continues. It is radar indicated, but if you hear the sirens going off, if you've got an alert on your phone, you just want to make sure to find that tornado safe place. Nothing is confirmed, but again, we've had several reports of wall clouds and rain. It could potentially see some rain-wrapped smaller tornadoes, so it gets really, really difficult to see, especially in a line like this. Like Jamie said earlier, it's not your classic supercell. It's kind of like a linear form, and you get these little spin-ups on the front edge of these storms. So heavy rain, that tornado warning continues for our northeastern Illinois counties, that as well as Macoupin County too. It looks like that tornado warning continues for about the next 15, 17 minutes. for Macoupin. So, Jamie, I'm going to go ahead and send it back to you in the studio. We are still driving on 270 where the rain continues to come down. So, make sure to take precaution as you're getting out and about this morning.
Yeah, well, Haley, thank you, and stay safe there as you continue out in the roads, because this is some torrential rainfall and some strong wind gusts. So we still are just tracking the 2 tornado warnings. However, 3 areas of rotation within these 2 warnings that we are watching near the Carlinsville and just north of the Carlinsville area. Also seeing a very weak rotation northwest of Collinsville in Madison County, with the line of storm. So we're monitoring that. We'll show you that in just a second. But first, let's start with these tornado warnings. So 2 of them, the farthest north one expires at 8:45. A little bit farther to the south, that warning, which is hard to see now because of the radar reflectivity that you're seeing on top of it, that is for southeastern Macoupin County. And that is for 8:30, but this one further to the north is until 8:45. So a radar indicated rotation here with these storms. Now the problem that we're seeing is we've been using the FAA radars at Lambert, and we are now seeing these storms kind of exit the range within that radar. So I do want to switch to the Lincoln, Illinois radar, and that radar is to the north there, northeast of Springfield. So we're getting just a different view of these storms as they continue rolling eastward at about 45, 50 miles per hour, approaching the I-55 corridor. So this is a line of storms. When you see spin-ups or tornadoes along a line of storms, they tend to be harder to decipher sometimes on radar and from the ground because they can be rain-wrapped. But we're seeing some notches within the storm and some like inflow notches from behind that we are watching very closely here, and that's why we have the National Weather Service has issued warnings. I hear my alarm going off, so that means another warning has been issued. We'll have to wait for that to populate. Outside of the red polygons there, the 2 tornado warnings, mainly for eastern Macoupin County and northwestern Montgomery County, we have a severe thunderstorm watch. So we are still seeing, okay, that's a brand new tornado warning that was issued for Montgomery, Illinois. Okay, so we'll have to, that has not come into my system yet. We will have to see that come into my system in just a second. But the Weather Service has issued another tornado warning for Montgomery, Illinois. This is for northwestern Montgomery County and southwestern Illinois. Or in south central Illinois, excuse me. A severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado located near Farmersville, moving east at 45 miles per hour. So we are still tracking a very dangerous situation, and I have found that tornado warning that is right here, far northern portion of the viewing area. So if we take off the radar briefly, that northern edge, that is what has been added to this tornado warning. Farther to the south, they have trimmed some of that warning where it is no longer, where the circulation is no longer a threat. So we're still tracking now. It looks like the northern edge of this line has kind of become a little bit more dominant when it comes to rotation. This looks to me to be falling apart a little bit south of Litchfield, down into southwestern Montgomery County, and then just east of the Staunton area along I-55 and points east. That looks to be breaking up a little bit. Still probably capable of straight line winds to about 60 miles per hour, but farther north is where we are seeing more of that rotation take over. So east of Girard there, some very high reflectivities we're seeing on the map. This is still the Lincoln radar at this point in time, I believe I have on when I zoomed into this. So we're heavy rainfall, lots of cloud to ground lightning. We could have some hail, I'd say probably pea-size hail, but that is a ton of lightning. Now, anything that we are seeing right now circulation-wise would be rain-wrapped. I still have not gotten many reports. I'm in the National Weather Service chat trying to multitask here. I have not gotten any reports of any funnel clouds or any circulation, except for when we were getting reports of wall clouds in Godfrey, Illinois, and that was about 30 minutes ago or so. So no reports coming in, but that doesn't really surprise me because these would be rain-wrapped spin-ups or rain-wrapped tornadoes. So what we have going on right now near Farmersville and northeast of Standard City there, I will put on the winds I saved the view there. There's the winds within the storm. Let's go ahead and zoom in now that we have some newer radar scans that have come in. We get a new scan every few minutes. And right in this area looks to be some circulation. And then kind of in this area where we're seeing some of those higher reflectivities. And these storms are moving toward the east at about 45 miles per hour. So another reminder, if you were within this red box, this one's a little bit harder to see. This one you can still see the front edge of that red box, but you have to look at that red outline. If you're within this box, you need to be observing your tornado safety precautions. Get within the most interior room of your home or your building, bathroom, closet, underneath the stairs, as many walls between you and the outside as possible, and get to the lowest level. If you have a basement, that is the best place to be. An interior wall of a basement, though, if it's a walkout, don't go by the doors or the windows, obviously. You want to get to the most interior portion of the basement as you can. A weather spotter in Brighton is reporting power outages in the Brighton area. We also have a tree down reported near Big Bend and Daughtery Ferry there, so that's farther to the south. So we still are seeing pretty impressive winds within the storm. Red is away, green is toward. Earlier we are looking at a different radar, so a different vantage point of away and toward, but now we are looking at the radar at Lincoln, and that's to the north. So these green returns, that's wind going toward the radar, and red is wind going away. So we're still tracking 2 tornado warnings at this point in time. Zooming out though, because I heard our alarm go off, we have additional severe thunderstorm warnings farther to the south. I want to go ahead and get back into our reflectivity mode. And this is still Lincoln, Illinois. Now the southern edge of the storm, this is a little misleading because this is pretty far away from the radar at Lincoln, and we'll probably get better sampling of this from the FAA radar. So slightly better sampling from the FAA radar of the southern edge of that storm going down through Monroe and St. Clair counties as it rolls towards the east. So still seeing straight line winds to about 60 miles per hour. We could have wind gusts to about 60 miles per hour and pea-sized hail. And we could also see some of those spin-ups farther north along the northern edge of that. Having a small technical issue here. I have lost my ears to the back. I am on anchor 2 for the control room. I am on anchor 2. We're going to take a break and go to Callista. I'm going to reset my radar scene since we have a few new warnings that are coming in and things are moving so quickly. And then we will come back and we'll get another check on the terminal radar from the FAA and the Lincoln radar as well. Here, Callista.
Okay, Jamie, well, as you check on that radar, let me give you guys an update on what I'm seeing. So your top 2 cameras, that's where we're seeing the heaviest rain right now. Look at 55 and 64 before you make your way over the Missouri. You can see the accumulation building on our highways. The good news is this isn't going to be where you're seeing accidents right now. So once you get into the region, again, things look good until you hit 64 in our westward direction. We've been dealing with this accident, 64 west, right before you hit Boyle Avenue for about an hour and a half at this point. We've still got emergency vehicles on scene. It looks to be at least 1, 2, 3, 4 blocking your right-hand lane as you make your way through 64. This backup spanning to about Jefferson right now. So here's my view from Vanaventer. As you can see, that is yet again more emergency vehicles at our Vanaventer exit. So given the circumstances, your biggest problem spot is still 64 west in the city. Going to be a problem as the weather continues to get worse. Back to you guys.
So near city, maybe?
Hey, we are live here in the Woods Basement System Storm Runner, and we're getting a check of the severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Bond, for Clinton, for Madison, and St. Clair. That just came down just a few minutes ago, and that runs until 9 o'clock for gusty winds as well as the potential for some small hail. We're actually driving on 255 northbound as we speak, just to the east of the St. Louis Metro, where we are still getting that rain. We've kind of been wrapped in this rain for the last 30, 45 minutes as this line of energy and this line of storms continues to push through. I have the lightning on. It's been a very electric storm, but it looks like more of the Electricity is ongoing just to the northeast of Collinsville, just southeast of Edwardsville, which Edwardsville looks like they are now just out of that warning. Same with Maryville and same with Collinsville. So like I said, heading northbound on 255. We have not run into any hail, which is some good news. The reason why a majority of these storms have popped severe is due to the wind gusts of 58 miles per hour or higher, which is severe limits for a severe thunderstorm warning. The hail has been less than a quarter size. So if you get some hail in your backyard or maybe driving to work, it is small in nature. It doesn't look like these storms have a very strong updraft. There is some sort of updraft for the potential for hail to fall, but again, like I said, it's been very, very weak. So continuing to monitor the severe thunderstorm warning. They did have a tornado possible tag on it, indicating it's not strong enough rotation to put a tornado warning on it, but we're going to label it under that severe thunderstorm warning just in case kind of thing. But it looks like they did go ahead and take that tag off. Once again, this severe thunderstorm warning is for Bond, it's for Clinton, Madison, St. Clair. It looks like this storm is moving east at roughly 35 miles per hour. I'm going to check to see if maybe it's strengthened in terms of its track to the east and northeast at about 50. So it's continuing to pick up speed. I've been saying this all morning, but we've been having the hardest time keeping up with these storms over the last hour and a half, just because they've been moving so quickly, and we can only drive so fast on the highway. But we'll watch out for this. We'll keep an eye on it. Wind speeds of up to 60 miles per hour. Some very heavy rainfall ongoing too, so you want to make sure to watch out for the ponding on roadways if you're headed up in the direction of 255. Maybe coming out from the city going east on 70. Just be careful to watch out for ponding on roadways. Drive with kind of at a slower clip than you would when roads are, when the pavement is dry. And also keep in mind too that these storms will continue into this afternoon too. We have another batch of severe weather on the way, but we are going to continue to monitor this potential threat as it continues this morning. But it's a very, very active day unfolding, already starting upwards of way earlier than 8:30, which is what your time is right now. This is just one of those days you definitely want to download the Fox 2 News weather app on your smartphone. It's going to pinpoint incoming storms with accurate timing, and it's going to give you details on if we get any additional watches or additional warnings issued for your location. I'll send it back to Callista in the studio.